Welcome back to this week's edition of Revolution TV. We've been working hard all week behind the scenes trying to put together a hard-hitting and intellectual thought that we can share with you on this week's episode about what's going on in the business of sports. And this week our staff came up with the idea of talking about the topic of the commissioner. You know, the commissioner, Paul Tagliabue, is retiring. He's been in the office for 16 years. There's been unprecedented growth in the NFL. It's established itself as the foremost league in the country. And now the office is vacant. You know, we thought, being that we're a Tampa-based agency, and one of the names that have been surfaced in the search for the new commissioner has been our very own Governor Jeb Bush, and with our in-depth knowledge of the political scene and the background of the political world here in Florida, we thought it'd be interesting if we took a closer look at the idea of Jeb Bush as the next commissioner of the NFL and what that could mean for continuing the unprecedented growth and achievements that Paul Tagliabue has put into place since 1989, following on the huge shoulders of Pete Rozelle. Jeb Bush might be the man for the job. So, the commissioner, the NFL. There's two professors, Professor Roberts and Wheeler. They collaborated to write a textbook, exactly the textbook that I use in my own athletics and the law class. And the very first paragraph in the very first chapter deals with the commissioner of sports. And it's interesting that that's what they chose to start their book off with, and that shows just how important the commissioner and their role is to everything that we see and that we love as fans and as the people that support the NFL and all the other leagues. I'm going to read you a little bit from that first paragraph. One of the unique features of sports as a social, economic, and legal institution is the office of Commissioner of the League. In addition to performing the duties of the league's chief executive officer, establishing schedules, supervising officials, negotiating network television contracts, and organizing the league championships, the commissioner, from the origins of this role in baseball in the early 1920s, has functioned as supreme voice of the best interest of the sport, empowered to resolve all disputes on this score among clubs, players, managers, and other participants in the game. So what does this mean? It means that everything about the NFL is embodied and it resides in one person, and that person right now is Paul Tagliabue. News reports have surfaced everywhere, and if you'd like to read some of those news reports, check out our site on myspace.com/revolutionagent, and we'll have some links there for you so you can read about the different opinions of Jeb Bush and Jeb Bush being the next commissioner. That's the service we provide to you, always trying to make you a more informed fan here at Revolution Agent TV. So, Pete Rozelle retired in 1989, and the owners saw fit to elect and empower Paul Tagliabue, a quiet man who kept a low profile but had been a lawyer for the league for many, many years. Since he was put into the office of commissioner, the NFL has seen the establishment of a league-wide salary cap, large increases in TV revenues, and franchise values have increased astronomically, making the owners very happy. They've had international ventures established, such as NFL Europe, which has been very successful. And my personal favorite is the establishment of the NFL Network, which in the long term may show to be the most insightful and innovative thing that Paul Tagliabue ever did as commissioner, and is already making major waves in how a league broadcasts its rights to its own games. This year they're going to broadcast 8 games, an unprecedented thing. Billions of dollars are being paid by the network, and the league is still able to carve out 8 games to broadcast on its own network. Great work, Paul Tagliabue. Jeb Bush would be a great commissioner. Why? Because there's a huge overlap in today's marketplace between sports and politics. Sports and politics every day become closer and closer. At the federal level, you have congressmen and senators working with the teams and the stadiums, trying to empower them and trying to enable them to work public-private partnerships in the communities. They're trying to revitalize communities through the use of sports. And Jeb Bush has an intimate knowledge of this. His brother's the president. He served as a chief executive officer for the fourth largest state in the country, being Florida. He has a brilliant track record as the governor of Florida. There's standards that have been established. He's streamlined the government. He's made it more efficient. He's consolidated power and made Florida as a whole, as a company, if you will, far more efficient than it was 8 years ago when he first took office. The emergency management efforts of Governor Jeb Bush, unprecedented. As you remember, several years ago, 4 hurricanes hit the state of Florida. 4 hurricanes in one hurricane season. Horrific damage. Every time you turned on the TV, every time they went to the state's emergency management center, there was our chief executive, Jeb Bush, at the helm, managing the effort. Everything ran very smoothly. People's houses have been rebuilt. People's evacuations were handled thoroughly. Completely different contrast to the unfortunate situation that happened in New Orleans with Hurricane Katrina. But Jeb Bush had 4 hurricanes, and he handled it exceptionally well. And those things are the same talents and skill sets that he would be able to bring to the NFL. And when you have that kind of guy at the helm running the day-to-day operations of a league that's already extraordinary, you're sure to get continued growth. And with the NFL Network and all the things that are built up, he's empowered to be a great executive. The owners might want to think about holding off until the end of his term in office before establishing a new commissioner. Of course, that would mean they'd have to get tags to stay along and hang on for a couple more months, because Jeb has already said he's going to finish this job because he finishes what he starts. Jeb has some great personal characteristics that he could bring to the office of commissioner. As the governor of the state of Florida with millions and millions of constituents, he personally reads and answers every email that he receives. Can you imagine if the NFL commissioner was that accessible to the public that adores the NFL? If you could send Paul Tagliabue an idea and he would actually read it, and if it was good, he would implement it. That's how the NFL would go to the next level. Any commissioner that takes the job from Paul Tagliabue might want to take notes from Jeb Bush. He's a very personable character, and he understands how to build relationships and how to build alliances. It would be a tremendous opportunity to see the public-private partnership that could be continued to be forged with someone like Jeb Bush at the helm. And his brother is the president. That has some advantages. Well, that's our discussion of Jeb Bush. We think it would be a great commissioner. We hope we've added some insight, shared a little bit about what the commissioner does for you this week. Please tune in next week. We're going to be bringing you some very interesting insights. We're going to be sitting down very soon with Dr. Kevin McGowan from Georgia, an insightful surgeon. He's going to be bringing you some of his personal triumphs and how you too can keep on keeping on. This is Don West for Revolution TV. Today is May 26, 2006. Hey, keep it real, keep it live. Check us next Thursday. We'll have something new for you, something good about the world of sports, and always, we'll keep it interesting. Have a great weekend.